So if you'll just start off by telling us your name, your current leadership position, and then how long you've been in this role, and then any formal leadership
Yeah.
positions.
So my name is Sarah Keith, and I have been, I guess, in a leadership role for the past, in varying sorts at my career, formally for the last 3 years, 2 years, 3 years, kind of informally for the last 5 or 6 years.
Okay.
So currently I'm at a oil field services company. I'm a senior accounting manager there, leading the finance and accounting department. Prior to that, I was at Ernst & Young. I was there as a manager for a year and as a senior, which is kind of the informal leadership role. You're kind of leading the day-to-day operations, and I was in that role for 3 years.
Okay, great. So how did you prepare yourself to take on your formal leadership positions? I know you said you were in more informal ones, but when you actually did move into those positions, you had people under you. What did that look like for you? How did you prepare for that?
Yeah, I feel like my experience is probably a little bit more unique from others, just from public accounting. You really kind of grow into it, and you really are thrown into it maybe even before you're ready. So for me, it's the preparation of leadership is more just do it and start by doing it poorly, and then you get better. So for me, it's been a lot of experience, and I'd say, I know there's technical leadership, and EY did a lot of trainings and things like that I got to be a part of to help prepare for leadership for sure, but I really pull mostly from experience in other areas outside of work. I mean, even as much as, high school and co-captains of cheerleading teams or presidents of sororities or things like that, where you've gotten little tastes of leadership that help prepare for corporate leadership.
Interesting. So a lot of trial by fire.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. And I'm a hands-on learner, so it works. Yeah. It works well for me to just do it, and we figure it out as we go, and learn from others, obviously.
Awesome. So what would you say is your leadership philosophy?
Mine is probably, it's mostly servant leadership. But it's not about me anymore. In my leadership role, it's about my people. It's about our team. It's about the success of the team, not necessarily my success. Yeah. So I think for me, it's how do I empower and enable my teammates, because when they're empowered and enabled, then we're able to get the job done, better, faster, more efficiently. All the things.
Love that. Yeah, it's a great philosophy. So how do you align your organization and your team and translate maybe your vision into action?
Yeah, that's a good question. Kind of a hard question. Yeah. For me, it's mostly communication and transparency with my team. Yeah. Especially in the situation, in the leadership role I'm in now, it's very much a startup, and we're kind of all figuring it out as we go along. So we're developing our end goal as we're going along the process. So it really does require a lot of communication, a lot of transparency as to things may change. We may realign and refocus, and we just all can be adaptable and fluid to that.
How does your team respond to that?
I think they like it. This one's a unique situation because starting all virtual. So meeting my people, leading my people has been entirely virtual for the most part. I think I've met them in person once. So that creates some unique dynamics where it's hard to, I don't say it's hard, but it's more difficult to read the situation or read the people to fully understand how they're feeling about the transition. But for me, it's touch points, and it's not just talking about what we're doing, but also how they're handling what we're doing. And making sure that they're comfortable. And as we get more and more work, or do we need to expand our team? Getting them involved in those conversations, because it's not just a me decision, or at least not from my perspective.
Yeah, that makes sense. And so also kind of to segue then from what you just said about being in that virtual environment, and it is a little bit more difficult from a motivation perspective. How do you keep your team motivated and engaged and energized? I would guess just over the past year would be interesting to hear about, but also just overall kind of in your leadership.
Yeah, I would say, so I'll start with my time at EY. I was leading, the way EY is structured, I lead people younger than I am.
Okay.
So it's a little easier to lead people that are younger than you, I feel like. So it was easy to motivate them when, especially in the public accounting sphere, and everyone gets worn down and bogged down. It's easy to kind of motivate in whatever your team needs. And so you just figure out what it is. Is it breaks? Is it coffee breaks? Is it we're playing games to help you get engaged? Is it me sitting?
A lot
of tangible action items. This has been a little bit different, but also a little bit easier in a weird way. So because it is a startup, there is a great sense of this teaming environment that's just natural to our team. So I've been very fortunate with my teammates to they have a strong drive. We want the success of the company. All of us do. We're building it from scratch. So to be honest, it's made my job really easy when it comes to motivating because they understand it's sink or swim. They're in it with me. So it's been easier. Now I can see we're probably transitioning now where we're starting to coast, and I can already kind of feel the tides changing. So it'll be interesting in the next couple months how it changes.
Sure.
Yeah.
This will be an interesting question with you being at more of a startup. What does a typical day look like for you?
Oh, it varies significantly. We've had some organizational changes as well, which has created a lot of changes in my days. So I do, being virtual, we'll meet with as a complete finance team, we'll meet once a week via Zoom and just kind of touch base. Fortunately, everyone kind of knows their roles and knows what we need to get done, which is good. Right. Because we're in accounting, we also have, month-end reporting, so it kind of varies on the week. Right. So if we're in that month-end close time frame, it's really kind of head down. We're working quite a bit. In the off months, it's a lot of collaboration with our other districts and coaching them on, finance and accounting and what they can do different in their things or in their processes or in their districts to help just grow profitability in their individual districts. Yeah. And then just the normal stuff to operate a business. It's, we're building out processes, so working on refining those. Where can we become efficient and improve efficiencies or improve our processes, and then how do we communicate that? And that's probably the biggest gap that we're working on now is how do we communicate these things out to the districts and our employees. I don't know if that answered that question.
No, definitely. Yeah, definitely. A lot of variation, and that's kind of a similar theme that I've heard is a lot of variation between kind of day to day in terms of what your role looks like. So what efforts do you make to develop your own leadership skills, whether that's daily, monthly, annually? What does that look like for you?
Yeah, to be honest, I don't know that I was maybe babied a little bit at EY. They kind of took care of that for us. Sure, we would have annual trainings, and a lot of that would incorporate leadership, things like that. And fortunately, because of my CPA, I do have to take CPE courses, and sometimes those will lend itself. I can pick and choose, obviously. So sometimes those will lend itself to just leadership topics, right? Which is nice. But outside of that, it really is just. I think leadership is very adaptable, or not adaptable, but it should be. It's going to change based on who you're leading. And so for me in this new role, it's more learning my people and learning what they need and how I need to maybe change what I've done in the past when I was leading younger people to now leading an older team and how that looks different. And I think for me, it's a lot of, again, just that hands-on. I may fail a little bit, but then we'll learn from it and we'll do it better next time. Sure. But we just got to start.
Yep. So on that note, if you can't think of a specific time, that's totally fine because we can pivot. But if you can think of a time when you have been faced with failure, what steps did you take to remedy that situation in terms of kind of your current role as a leadership or even your past role at EY?
Yeah. I don't know if I can pinpoint a specific time, but I know there have been many times that I have failed. And for me, it's always, whether it be in leadership or not in leadership, it's owning up to it quickly and then fixing it quickly. Right. And just, I personally don't have a problem saying, hey, this is my bad, here's what we're going to do to fix it, and I'm sorry that I messed up, So for me, it's just that, it's owning it and moving on and making it better and learning from it, not doing it again.
I think probably senior or servant leadership, like you talked about earlier, and transparency, so it definitely connects. What about past leaders and mentors who have shaped you into kind of the leadership style and approach you have to leadership today?
Yeah, I've been very fortunate to have some good leaders to work underneath, both at EY and then for my brief time at American Cementing, I got to work under a wonderful CFO. And so all of them, I think that they just all did a really good job of empowering me and letting me have some autonomy in what I was doing. And I really respected that from them. They also pushed me and taught me. I remember at EY, you start very fresh and you have no idea what you're doing. And having leaders that wouldn't just spoon feed me, but say, hey, well, how would you do this? And they're there to catch you when you fall, but they made me take that first step. And I remember the first couple times it was like painful for me. It was like, please stop. I don't know the answer. Stop asking me this question. Just tell me what to do. Right. But because of those leaders and because of those mentors, was able to, grow and strengthen my skills and have the confidence then to say,
Mhm.
Yes, I think just watching from the mentors that I've had in my career, and learning from them how they handle difficult situations, and sometimes not well, but sometimes very well. And so getting to see both sides of that.
Yeah.
And again, I think all of them have really, they recognize the strengths in their people, and they've let them run with it. And I think that's always been really impactful to me.
Yeah.
Always they trust your people.
Yes, always
Yeah.
interesting too to learn like what not to do and
Yeah.
what to do from those leaders.
Yeah.
and mentors.
Fortunately, I've had very good ones. There's been very few moments where I was
what not
like,
to do.
what not to do. It's always been like, oh, that was a good way to do that.
Okay, that's
Yeah,
cool.
which is great.
Okay, well, this is the last question I have, and probably a good one to end on. But what would you say is the most rewarding aspect of your leadership role?
Yeah.
Or past roles?
Personally, I like the relationships that come from it. Yeah, I mean, in short, I think it's probably been more rewarding from the EY side, just because I have the most time as in a leadership position there. But to have people come back and be like, "Hey, it was so impactful to have you, lead or let me do this or coach me this way or take the time to do this." That's always really encouraging to me, and then to get to see them succeed in their career too, is really sweet. So in this new role, I don't know what I feel it is currently, but I hope it's the same. Just getting to know my people and getting to be part of their lives, and when bad things happen in our personal lives, as they do, like getting to be, even as a work colleague, showing sympathy or showing support,